top GCSE grades have hit a new record high after a second year of being determined by teachers rather than examiners. Well, this follows record A-level results a couple of days ago and suggestions about grade inflation. So will employers and universities take the results as seriously as before? To discuss what it's been like learning during the pandemic and what the future holds for students, I'm joined now by Mina, who got her GCSE grades today. Also here, her headmaster, Woolf. And what does this mean for the world of work? Laura Mystery is the non-profit Youth Employment UK. Great to see you all. We'll start with the important person of the day. Mina, how did you do in your results?
Hi, so I think I did really well, actually.
Go on, what did you get?
So English language, literature, Spanish, German, and geography, I got a 9.
Ah, right.
Then maths, economics, chemistry, I got a 7. And then biology, physics and history, I got 8.
Are you pleased with that?
Pardon?
Are you pleased with it all, with those results?
Yep, I was really happy with them.
Right. It's going to have been a different year for you. Well, perhaps different couple of years, hasn't it? Have you coped?
Yeah. Well, during lockdown, I did really have to learn how to be more independent in my learning. But I feel like my school and the teachers, they did really help us through that. So they did everything that was possible for them to help us. And I think that contributed to me getting my grades.
Woolf, it's going to be strange not just for the pupils, but for the teachers as well, isn't it?
It is strange, but it's brilliant to be able to celebrate with students like Mina. She's an absolute superstar, worked incredibly hard, had a very supportive group of teachers, and I'm just thrilled for her.
What do you feel when you hear every year the term grade inflation, especially the last couple of years?
I think it's really demeaning to the students. I think we need to celebrate, and today in particular, we need to celebrate not only their amazing results, but their extraordinary resilience. They've been through a really challenging time. We know the challenges very clearly. What we need to do today is amplify the success and make sure they realise they've done an absolutely fabulous job and really get the credit that they deserve.
Laura Mystery, let's bring you in. Good evening to you. Are employers aware how much disruption has been caused, and do employers change their views on taking people on, or have they the last couple of years?
Hi, Nick. Yes, they have. I think it's fair to say that this year's been chaotic and a challenge for everyone, and employers are still overcoming those challenges themselves too. Employers in our network are youth-friendly employers, so actually they're really aware that what young people have been through in the past year, and they're really keen that young people know that their grades aren't worth less than they have been in other years, but also that grades are one part of what makes you a person. Your skills, your personality, all of the other things about you are just as important to them.
And I suppose one thing to look at is work experience that students have had, but the trouble is, in the last 18 months plus, they haven't been able to get out and get into work.
No, they haven't. And gaining work experience has been a barrier that we've heard young people talk about for a long time at Youth Employment UK, even pre-pandemic. Employers have stepped up and tried to make engaging online work experience opportunities out there, but all of those ways that young people will experience work, whether it be a Saturday job or working in local hospitality, or any of those opportunities have been cut off for them. So it's really important that employers recognise that when they are recruiting and hiring, that actually the level of experience they ask for, it has to be recalibrated, and the training and support that young people entering the labour market need is going to have to be recalibrated against that too.
Let's ask Mina, have you been able to do any work experience, and if not, would you have liked to?
Well, I actually did get a summer job at a coffee shop, so Starbucks, and I feel like that did help me improve. I feel like during the summer, the jobs prepared me for sixth form.
Yeah, and that's what that's what you want to do, isn't it? Not go into work like so many. You do want to go and do A levels, is that right?
Yep.
What will you study for your A levels?
So I'll be doing chemistry, biology, and English literature and history.
OK, let's go back to Chris Woolf. Mina there, obviously going on to A-levels. Many people will try and get into the workplace. We know careers advice in schools is so important. Have you been able to give pupils a steer with what they might be able to do, those who are actually going into work now?
Absolutely. So Pinner High School is a new school. We only opened in 2016 for the first time. So Mina is one of the group of what I call our Trailblazers, our first year group. And they've had lots of advice. They've had lots of guidance. They had individual one-to-one careers interviews, which this year we did over Zoom. But we're all getting used to that. And I think Mina will be an absolutely fantastic A-level student, as will almost all of our Trailblazers. It's a really exciting moment.
Going on, do you think there's a question mark over GCSEs? Will people, potentially future employers, look and think, oh, here we go again? They're not as credible. I mean, we're talking about grade inflation there. You think it's very unfair to talk about that. But the fact is that even there's going to be some disruption next year, it might go back to exams. But you'll recall that when GCSEs began all those years ago, they were largely based on coursework. So will that be the way forward? Do you think the coursework will represent some elements of these exams? Because, of course, we've had now the system changing, haven't we? They are a number-based system rather than letters.
Absolutely. I think schools are used to change. We've been from letters to numbers. We've been from coursework to exams to centre-assessed grades to teacher-assessed grades. We're used to change. What we'd like is students in school so we can provide the support that we like to and support their success. So, schools are ready to do whatever it takes to make sure our young people have the very best chance of success.
Do you think this year might have an asterisk next to it as far as employers are concerned? Is that how employers, you might feel, are looking at it, Chris Woolf? The fact that here we are, they are marked on teacher assessments.
I think the only asterisk would be to say how well they've done, to show that they've demonstrated, I mean, we call them the Pinner values of resilience, of adaptability, of open-mindedness, of confidence. That's what the asterisk shows. It shows how well they've done, nothing else other than that. Well,
that's definitely one for you, isn't it, Lauren Mystery? Will employers, or could they look and think, oh, this is a different way of doing it? Pupils haven't been at school, not that it's their fault, but it's a different way of calculating. Does that play into potential bosses' minds?
I think it can do. I would echo what Chris says, though. We promote a youth-friendly employer badge, and actually the employers within our network would echo what Chris said. Actually, the only asterisk is about young people kind of braving through the year and doing really well, regardless of how much it's changed within the last year or so. Not all employers are like that, no. And I think that when we think about culture and work and the amount of years you have to work for, I think you have to really consider what type of employee you want to work for and how they're going to value you and your skills too. So, certainly the employers we've spoken to are just, amazed at how well young people have done. And we also have to remember that young people have done amazingly well, but they've not all had the same access to resources and education for large parts of the UK, and for different demographics of young people, they haven't been able to access school in the same way. So for any of those that haven't got, a handful of 8s, 9s and 7s this year, it doesn't mean they haven't done well either. It doesn't mean they haven't been resilient, and it doesn't mean they haven't got bright futures ahead.
Well, let's look at our star pupil again. Mina Safi, what are you looking forward to next year? Perhaps getting back into proper education?
Yeah, that's for sure. I feel like sixth form is going to be an opportunity where you get to study the subjects that you've decided, the subjects you will enjoy. So I feel like that will help drive me to become more independent with my learning and do my best.
And are you looking forward to seeing your fellow students, those who you've sort of gelled with perhaps over the years? It must have been quite difficult. Is that something that's really at the forefront of your mind?
It was very different, the change between seeing them every day, learning with them, and then not seeing them for 6 months. But I feel like sixth form and the last few months of year 11, we got closer. We all knew that we needed to focus more on our studies, and I think we really helped each other through that. So I'm excited for sixth form.
And Chris Woolf, what's it like to potentially have classes full again? I mean, is that what you're expecting?
Absolutely. We've had really good attendance as long as schools have been open. When we were on distance learning, we had live lessons 6 times a day and 95% of students logging in every time. So, no, we're very optimistic about the future and looking forward to having students back in school as much as we possibly can.
Is there any way that education or pupils' education has been harmed by not being at school?
I think for a number of schools, it has been really, really challenging. In Harrow, we work together. We're very collaborative. We try and support each other. But lots of schools have had lots of different challenges, and different contexts have found things different. But we all retain an optimistic outlook, and we're looking forward to all the successes that are still to come.
And Lauren, just an overall question: what is the employment market tending to look like now? We've been through sort of a bit of a downturn, haven't we? Is it picking up? Are there jobs potentially for the students who actually want to leave and get into the workplace?
Absolutely, yes, there is. The job market is picking up. There are sectors with skill shortages, and there are sectors with a huge number of vacancies outweighing those looking for work. So yes, there are. Those opportunities out there range from going into work, apprenticeships, there's kickstart opportunities for those who have been out of work for 6 months or more. So absolutely, yes, the job market is picking up and looking for young people as well, all workers at the moment too. So yeah, there is a real chance to kind of gain opportunities.
All right, well, Lauren Mystery, Chris Woolf, thank you very much for your time, and indeed to Mina Safi, huge congratulations on your results. You must be really chuffed after what for so many has been a difficult time. But thank you to all of you.
Thank you.
You're watching the News Hour with me, Nick Qureshi. Thanks for your company.